Well, welcome back to SimStation. And this is a day after I dropped the Windows 10 video. I actually recorded that over a week and a half ago, but I was late to getting it edited and dropped. I had to add some stuff in, and then I forgot about it. And then yesterday I added the pieces into it that needed to complete the video. So let's move past that. So I showed you already how to install Windows 10 IoT Enterprise LTSC 21H2 on your system to keep Windows 10 alive until January 13th of 2032. Okay, so the LTSC actually stands for long-term support channel. So that's what version of that Windows that is. IoT is Internet of Things. So to give you a little bit of history of that particular operating system, it is used on kiosk and stuff like that. So if you go to a McDonald's and you walk up to the kiosk and you put your order in, it is likely running Windows 10 IoT Enterprise LTSC 21H2. So that's what it was made for, and that's why when you download it, it's a stripped down version. But if you watch my video to its entirety, I'll show you how to add stuff back onto it, like the Microsoft Store, where to get it from. There's links at the bottom of that description for everything I've done in that video. So for activating your Windows 10, that link is there. The link to Internet Archives to download that copy of Windows 10 is there. All those links are there. So that's enough for that. That's just answering some of the questions that come up in the comment section of that. This video is different. This is going to dive down a different rabbit hole. So we're diving down a whole different rabbit hole here. So let's say you got Windows 10, okay? And it's Windows 10 Home, Pro, or Education. Doesn't matter, right? So you have Windows 10, and there is an option to enroll to get extended update service if you have a Microsoft account. So this is what I want you to look at. So if you have a Microsoft account, there is an option to do that, and I'm going to show you that in this video. What does it cost to enroll? What do you have to do? How hard is it to enroll, and how do you even get to the enrollment? So the first thing that you have to have is a Microsoft account. So you have to you have to create a Microsoft account if you don't have one, and you have to be signed in to your Microsoft account if you do have one. SimStation, if you're an OG of the channel, and what I mean by that is if you've been watching the videos for a while, I do a lot of budget PCs, nostalgic PCs, stuff like that. I buy them from yard sales, estate sales. I'll buy them off eBay, Goodwill.com. You name it. I bought a computer off Whatnot, and a lot of people don't even know what Whatnot is, but it's an auction site too that you can go to where individuals like me or you could sell on that site, and that's what you'll find when you go to Whatnot. It's an app that I have on my phone. I'm SimStation, so if I find an app like that, I have to purchase a computer on it. And you'll see that in the videos. That's on the Tuesday night videos. The Windows videos like this are going to drop on a different night, though. So I'm going to do random nights on these for a while, because everybody needs to know what's going on and what changes there are. So I made the biggest mistake of all the PCs I have, the video I have about upgrading to the Windows 10 IoT. My main computer in the house, the one my wife and I pay the taxes on, or we do our taxes on, and pay our taxes on actually, the one we pay our bills on, and the one that I do all the orders for parts and stuff, and my wife does her online purchases on it. That is the only computer in the house that for the past 3 days has not been protected. I let it slip. I never think about it because we're not on it all the time. So I don't think about it, and that computer is more like what a normal person is going to have in their house. So I'm going to take you back to that. It's a Lenovo 24-inch all-in-one touchscreen. And I think we bought it probably around 2015. It's a 4th Gen i5 Intel processor in it. But it's still a capable computer. It is. And there's no sense in letting this computer go to waste because it's capable. So I thought about it months ago and getting it upgraded and you know, taking care of this part, because that computer should be the Fort Knox of my computers because of what it does. but it's not. It's actually the worst treated of my computers. That one still has a mechanical hard drive in it. So I'm going to do different updates to that. I think you'll see that on a Tuesday night video. I'm going to go ahead and tear into that one. It's still got a mechanical hard drive, so I'm going to upgrade it to a solid state drive. But that's not what this video is about. This video is for anyone running unsupported Windows 10. I want to show you what it looks like 3 days after we lost support for Windows 10 #1. And I want to show you that if you don't want to reinstall Windows 10 on like the IoT Enterprise LTSC version, that there is another option. Okay, so I don't want you to look at my last video and think that there's no options out there, because there's several options out there. And we can go over some of them real quick, but the first option is you can go pick your favorite flavor of Linux. If you want to test something new, download Linux Mint, Ubuntu, Zorin, Arch. I mean, there's so many, Elementary OS. There's just so many different Linux flavors that you can download, and you can play around with it. But if you're an OG Windows user and you haven't used anything else, and you don't want to use anything else, and you know who you are because you didn't want to get rid of Windows XP, okay? And then you didn't want to get rid of Windows 7. I'm that guy. I'm that guy. I am. But I'm also an enthusiast, so I know all the versions to work around it. I can install Windows 11 on unsupported hardware. But the problem is, as I told you in the last video, you can install Windows 11 on unsupported hardware. There's no doubt about that. But whatever version you put on there is a version you're stuck with. And eventually, like my beloved Plex server in the last video, that version of Windows 11 will lose support from Microsoft when they upgrade to newer versions. So I do want you to keep that in mind, that old PC will not automatically upgrade to the new version of Windows 11. So then you're stuck with what? Reinstalling everything again. So to keep you from reinstalling everything again, and if you have a Windows 10 computer and you don't feel like messing with it right now, this video is going to help save you time on that. So I'm going to take you back to our main computer that should be Fort Knox for SimStation, but it's actually the worst secured computer in my house. Make that make sense, right? Just make it make sense. You won't. So we're going to go back to that computer now. I'm going to show you what it is, and then we're going to dive into keeping my version of Windows 10 and seeing what it takes to enroll in the Microsoft extended security updates for it. So let's go do that right now and dive right into it and see how much money this is going to cost SimStation to make this video. For the sake of the content of the video, right? We're going to go back right now and I'm going to show it to you. All right, we're back to my beloved computer, and my wife is a fan of unicorns. So that's why you see that. I wanted to wait for it to get online real quick before we do this. So the first thing that I want you to notice is nowhere on here does it say that my computer isn't supported no more. So I do want you to notice that. Let's open Microsoft Edge since it's Windows browser. And let's take a look at that and see if it tells us that it's not supported. No, it just says update complete, right? New tab, everything's working fine there. There's nothing about the computer not being supported. The reason for that is because Edge and stuff is going to continue to get updated on this because they offer extended support. Now this computer, if you go down here to the start window and right click like I do, and you go to your settings, we'll open that up, and it'll look like this once you get in here. I am signed into my Microsoft account, so I don't want to show that too much. I want to go to Update and Security, and here's what happens when you do. So Windows Update right here. Your version of Windows has reached the end of support. So when you go in here and see this, that's what it's going to show you. So you can check for updates there. You can view optional updates there. But if you go down here, it says enroll in extended security updates. Your device is no longer receiving security updates. Enroll now to stay protected and productive for another year. So this is how you get extended support. I haven't tried this yet, so let's click on it and see what it does. So there's the extended service updates to enroll in it. It's going to open this up. I'll probably have to block some of this out, but it says enroll in extended security updates to stay protected. Support for Windows 10 ended on October 14th of 2025. Without security updates and technical support, your PC will be vulnerable to attacks and malware. So what happens if we click next? Let's see what it says. How much money do they want from us? There no extra costs. So it says, since I'm signed into my account, you're eligible to enroll in extended security updates at no extra costs. As you've already backed up your Windows settings, you're eligible to enroll in extended security updates at no extra costs. So if you go right here, you can see that. So I'm going to go ahead and re-protect the computer by enrolling in it. And it says it's enrolling. Now it says you're enrolled in extended security updates through October 13th of 2026. Make sure your PC is fully backed up. You've already backed up app settings, credentials, protected files. So we're going to click done on this one. And now that message is gone. So we've enrolled it in the extended updates and that message is now gone. So my main computer that my wife and I both use for doing our taxes and stuff, I mean, you can see it's mostly taxes. That's all H&R block files right there. I don't even want to tell you how many years back these things go, right? I'm an old guy, so I've been paying taxes for a long time. But that's going to do it on my computer that should have been protected that wasn't, and I caught it late. Okay, so if I go to update and security again, you're up to date, and the PC is being protected again. So your PC is enrolled to get extended security updates right here, but your PC doesn't meet the requirements, minimum system requirements to run Windows 11, which this may be the biggest scam ever pulled on the world, actually. So thank you, Microsoft, for that. But that is how you enroll your Windows 10. What version of Windows 10 is this? I didn't even look at it. We'll go to System and open this up. Not too bad for old mechanical hard drive system. It's still pretty spunky. What were we looking at? Oh, we have Windows 10 Home on this one. So there you go right there. Windows 10 Home 22H2 installed on 4/2 of 21, actually. So I must have I probably kept it on Windows 7 until then. I ran Windows 7 a lot longer than what I should have too. But you'll see a lot of people do this. You know who you are if you're watching this video, right? You know exactly who you are. So that's how you extend extend the support on your Windows 10 through Microsoft. And it was free to do, so it didn't cost any money to do that. And that's going to protect the computer with the Microsoft security updates for another year. So we got that done, that part of it done. I'll just close the video out. I'll talk to you a little bit back on a tripod about different options and different things you can do. But obviously, I mean, it boils down to you absolutely have to have a Microsoft account to do that. All right, so you got to see the unicorn computer, we'll call it. My wife's favorite screensaver of all time. She's a big fan of unicorns, and she has been since I met her. So we've been married for 26 years now. So we've been together a long time. 3 beautiful children. So I'm not complaining about that. But you got to watch and see that old computer and how I extended support for it. That is an option for all of you. If you want to create a Microsoft account, you can enroll in the extended updates, and it's going to give you another year. So I think you're going to be able to buy updates after that for another year or two. And the reason the support for Windows 10 is going to go on from Microsoft and they're going to allow those options is because of the long-term service channels that they got out there. So Windows 10 IoT Enterprise LTSC 21H2, which they extended the service date on until January 13th of 2032. So that's your best option. And honestly, is it a bad idea to do a clean install on your computer and put IoT Enterprise 21H2 on it? No, It's not. You and I both know you got junk on there. I got junk on mine, and it's not a bad idea to do it. So just quit complaining, back up your files that you want to keep. You can even partition your hard drive, put all the stuff you want to keep in your partition, and then format it and make sure you don't delete that partition on your Windows 10 install. And then all of your stuff will be there after you get Windows 10 reinstalled, right? So that is an option for you. I may do a video showing that if there's any interest in that, but I don't want to unless there's interest in it. But there's ways that you can do that and back it up. And that's only if you don't have an external hard drive. And I do have external hard drives here. I use one actually on my Plex server that's a 4 terabyte. So I have external hard drives that I can use for it, but if you don't have one, you can always partition a drive in your computer. That computer needs updated anyway, honestly. I enrolled in that support, and it'll just give me time until I get around to it, but I'm going to upgrade that with the SSD and put another 8 gigs of RAM in it, because it is a 4th gen Intel. So real quick before I end the video, what I want to talk about is I want to talk about what has led us here with Microsoft, and at least what I think has led us here with Microsoft. So if you're an older person and you've been using Windows for 30 years, then you probably started back in the old days like I did on Windows 3.1, and you've worked your way up through Windows 95, 98, 2000, XP, Vista 7, 8, 10, and this is where we're at now to Windows 11. And I think soon we're probably going to see the Windows 12 drop. With the support ending for 10, I would almost say that we're going to soon see Windows 12 drop. Don't hold me to that one yet. I think Microsoft, the reason to extend your updates that you have to have an account is because they're now bridging everything together in order to get people on a subscription service. So here's what I mean by that. I think when Windows 12 does drop, that you'll pay for it by subscription services. And here's what I believe led Microsoft to this. So if you go back to the earliest Windows, those were retail versions, right? So 3.1, 95, 98, 98 SE, 2000, the XP 7, all the way up to Windows 7, they were retail versions. And what I mean by that is you literally would go to Best Buy or Walmart or Office Depot, if you had one of those and remember that. Go to Office Depot, and Circuit City was around back then even, and you would go to the computer software, because we had, a whole aisle or two of that back in the day, because we didn't have the digital download world yet. So you could buy a copy of your Windows operating system, a retail copy, and it would come with a COA, Certificate of Authenticity, and you would pop that floppy disk in the early days and get your operating system installed. In the later days, you would pop your CD in there and you would install your Microsoft Windows system, and then you would pop your DVD in with Windows 7 and you would install it, and then you would look on the case, inside the case somewhere, and you would have the key code, the COA, and you would put that key code in, and it would be, if you were online, it would activate your copy of Windows. And that's how it worked. So Microsoft sold those retail copies to retailers like Walmart, like Best Buy, like Circuit City, like Office Depot, and those retailers retailed them to the end consumer, and then the end consumer could install it in their computers. Most people in the early days bought pre-builts and didn't custom build, I can tell you that. My first computer was a Gateway 2000, so that'll tell you something. So most people bought the pre-builts, and the pre-builts would have Windows on it. But if you were reinstalling or upgrading Windows, then you went down and you bought the copy, and that's how you done that. So that's how it worked. Microsoft made their money off selling to the retail end that way. And then the digital world hit, and that was during Windows 7. But early in Windows 7, the digital world hadn't hit, but by the end of it, we were in a full-blown digital world. Steam was created, so you had all these digital download options, and you could even, you could create your USB installers for Windows 7 and stuff, right? You've seen lots of different ways to do that. So let's go to Windows 10. Well, here's where I thought something was funny, because when we had Windows 7, they said, okay, if you have Windows 7, we're going to end support for it, but we're going to let you upgrade to Windows 10 for what? Free. Nothing's free, people. Nothing is free, okay? And I'm gonna say that one more time. Nothing is free. I believe that Microsoft probably lost a lot of revenue when the digital world hit and they weren't selling retail copies of Windows anymore. So I think that led them down to a road where they need to get everyone on a Microsoft account. So you cannot even legitimately install Windows 11 without creating a Microsoft account, okay? You cannot enroll your Windows 10 to extended support without creating a Microsoft account. So I believe when we go to Windows 12 that we're going to see our first subscription-based accounts where we pay for that by the month. And look at the cash cow they'll create doing that. And that'll tell you why they literally banished even very capable PCs today to the e-waste scrapyard. It's called money, and a lot of it. If they get us on a subscription base with these operating systems and we pay even $10 a month, look at all the people on Windows and how much revenue that brings in for Microsoft. That's my 2 cents on that, and I wanted to get that added into this video. But that is how you enroll in the extended updates. You have to have a Microsoft account to do it. You see where this is headed, right? That's also why Windows 11, and you can research this if you want, it's why Windows 11 requires Secure Boot and Trusted Platform Module 2.0. Those two things are not to secure our systems, okay? It's to secure Microsoft, and it actually lets them have more control of your system. I'm just saying, the last time I checked, I bought that computer, I purchased it, most of mine are custom built. That's my PC, not Microsoft, so I'd rather them not have control of it. That's just my thought behind it. So you do have options out there. You can go with Linux. You can go ahead. I'm going to tell you from me to you, if you are not afraid to experience something new or different, you're not going to have this problem that we're having with Microsoft with Linux. I promise you that. And honestly, I've daily drove Linux for years now, and I have it on one of my favorite PCs. And I have been a daily driver of Linux for years. I've used multiple different flavors of it, we'll call it. So multiple different flavors. But rock solid. The only time it ever breaks is if I go in a terminal and do something stupid and break it. For the most part, though, they're very user-friendly now where you don't even have to touch the terminal. And when I say that, it's because I've tested the new Zorn OS, I've tested the new Ubuntu, the new Linux Mint, Elementary OS. I mean, I've tested a lot of these things. So that is an option for you. And I'm going to do some videos, if you would like, on installing Linux and getting it working on your system, things to look out for, the ins and outs of that. But you comment in the video and tell me if you want to see that. That's going to do it for this video. You got my thought behind why Microsoft created the largest e-waste debacle in the history of the world. Why would they create that? I think it's all about the greenbacks and the money, and I'm pretty sure that I'm on to something with this video. But you've seen how to enroll your computer into the extended updates from Microsoft. So you could, in my case, I protected Windows Home, 22H2 for another year until January 13th of 2026. So if you want to get that out of it, go ahead and use it. And if you want to know other ways, I'll link the last video from a few days ago in here. That way you can see how to upgrade your system to the Windows 10 IoT Enterprise LTSC 21H2 and be supported until January 13th of 2032. That's going to do it. It's been another great SimStation production. I hope you enjoyed it. Tell me your thoughts on whether or not I'm on the right track with why Microsoft is headed down this road and why they created such a large e-waste. Subscription-based Windows system makes more sense than anything, in my opinion. So tell me if I'm wrong and tell me if you think something's different. But regardless, like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel.